Good afternoon, Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma. Welcome to Special Report Afternoon Edition, brought to you by KC Securities. I'm Chris Olcorn, and we are waiting for an announcement from Terry Sheehan, our federal MP here in Sault Ste. Marie. He is making an announcement about Algoma Steel Inc. They are about to make an announcement on reducing their greenhouse gas emissions. He's making this announcement on behalf of the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, the Honourable Jonathan Wilkinson. So we'll be going to that shortly. This is all part of the federal government's climate change initiatives. And now we're going to go right over to, they're already there. We're heading over.
Just want to say good afternoon, everybody. Bienvenue. My name is Jennifer, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm Terry's EA here in Ottawa, and I'll just be moderating today on the Zoom call. So all participants except Terry and Mr. McQuaid should be muted and have both the audio and the camera off. If you want to ask a question during the Q&A, you can enable it yourselves. You can control it. I'll keep you muted until then. And so I guess we'll start today with Terry, our Member of Parliament for Sault Ste. Marie and the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Economic Development and Official Languages, where he's responsible for FedNor. MP Sheehan is making a federal funding announcement on behalf of the Honourable Jonathan Wilkinson, our Minister of Environment and Climate Change. So, Mr. Sheehan, it's all you.
Well, thank you very much, Jennifer, for setting this up for this very important announcement. I appreciate that very much, and bienvenue aussi to everyone on the Zoom call today and people listening on Facebook. Before I get too far, I always wanted to first of all say hello, bonjour, and Ani, and we always need to recognize that we're on the traditional lands of the Ojibwe people in this area, in the Huron Superior Treaty lands, and that, of course, is our good friends in Garden River, in Batchewana, as well as the Métis. A very significant amount of Métis are located in Sault Ste. Marie. This is a very sacred area for them as well. So I just want to acknowledge that we are in the traditional territory of those Indigenous people. So thank you for sharing your land for this announcement today. As Jennifer had mentioned, it's great to be here with Mike McQuaig and all the people from Algoma Steel that are on the line today, as well as the people in the media. Good day to you, as well as Rory Ring, who's representing the Chamber of Commerce and the business community. So, without any further ado, I would like to get right into her, and I'm going to begin by making the announcement, and then I will introduce Mike to say a few words after that, and we will continue on. So again, great day today. During this COVID-19 pandemic, the Government of Canada's #1 priority remains keeping Canadians safe and supporting families and businesses. Even at this time, work continues to help the economy recover. You've heard a few announcements that we did earlier this week from a FedNor perspective around agricultural and Indigenous. So we're keeping on that as the economy continues to open up. So, we're also trying to create the conditions for good new jobs. But at the same time, we still recognize that we have an extreme challenge here in Canada, and we need to lower emissions and at the same time make life more affordable for Canadians. Climate change continues to be a great concern for the residents of Sault Ste. Marie, and for the rest of Canadians. We knew in the last election that was one of the top priorities for people at the door about the climate change and fighting pollution and making things a little more green. So that continues today. People recognize even more, I think, now because of COVID-19, the interplay of the environment and everyone's ordinary lives, and I think people are even more recognizing the importance. So that brings me to today's announcement. On behalf of Jonathan Wilkinson, the Honourable Minister of Environment and Climate Change, and a little note, he is born in Sault Ste. Marie, so it's a double honor to have a a Siouxite, making an announcement on a fellow Siouxite. I know that Saskatchewan claims him. He moved when he was a very small child to Saskatchewan, but he was born in the Sioux, and he's got good Sioux roots. So I just wanted to say how much of a double honor it is to announce an investment, of approximately $4 million from the Low Carbon Economy Fund to support Algoma Steel's climate change initiative. This is the second largest steel producer in Canada, and they're going to use this funding to improve both the tar removal and light oil recovery areas of its coke making plant in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. So this process will not only help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but it's going to also help improve local air quality. And we know how important that is. Algoma Steel has always been a great citizen, but this is going to help, them improve local air quality even more. So this funding for this investment today comes from the champion stream of the Government of Canada's Low Carbon Economy Challenge, which invests in projects that reduce carbon pollution, save money, and support good jobs. From this project, Algoma Steel Inc. will see an annual reduction of approximately 21,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions, amounting to a cumulative reduction of about almost 600,000 tons over the project's lifetime. So to put that in perspective, it's approximately an equivalent of removing 182,000 cars off the road for a year. Canada's climate plan is on track to deliver the largest emission reduction in the country's history. But these initiatives are just beginning, and the government's going to continue to bring forward new and enhanced climate action measures to exceed our 2030 targets and achieve net zero emission by 2050. Again, I'm very excited about this. It's a very, very important announcement today. And without further ado, I wanted to turn things over to our very special guest host, the CEO for Algoma Steel. And I just wanted to read a little bio about him as I pull it up. Excuse me. And I have it here. Excuse me. Maybe Jennifer could send it to me one more time. I apologize.
Yes, I can do that. Okay. And
on a personal note, Mike and I have gotten to know each other quite well since taking over the Algoma Steel after the restructuring. I think it was very, very key, and also underlines that we had a really important announcement in 2019 of $90 million to support Algoma Steel from FedDev and from the SIF announcement. So I really wanted to, acknowledge that. So with today's announcement, that's a $94 million the government has invested in Algoma Steel in just over a year. So again, Mike has been a good person to navigate Algoma Steel through its coming out of its restructuring, and you can understand it because about what I'm about to read is going to really demonstrate his history and why he's the right person at the helm at Algoma Steel. So in March 2019, prior to joining Algoma, Mr. McQuaid was acquired more than 35 years of progressive experience at Stelco Inc., of course, a Canadian steel producer. During his first 25 years at Stelco, he played a critical role in that year's sale to U.S. Steel. He carried on after the sale as the general manager, finance for U.S. Steel Canada, and in 2010 was appointed chief financial officer for U.S. Steel Canada. In his final executive role as president of Stelco U.S. Steel Canada, he led a successful financial restructuring and sale while under CCAA protection, which separated Stelco from U.S. Steel. He retired from Stelco in December 2017. Mr. McQuaig holds a Bachelor of Mathematics degree from the University of Waterloo, as well as the CPA and CMA and Chartered Director's designations. He currently serves as the chair of the Canadian Steel Producers Association and as a director with the American Iron and Steel Institution. So thank you very much, Michael, and turn the mic on to Mike, please, Jen.
Well, MP Sheehan, Terry, first of all, let me thank you very much for your and our government's continued support of Algoma Steel and the steel sector at large. I would also like to thank today's participants for, I think tuning in is the probably the appropriate way to paraphrase that. So thank you for joining us today for this very important announcement. So the funding provided through the Low Carbon Economy Fund has made it possible for Algoma Steel to modernize our tar and light oil plant and shrink our carbon footprint. Through this project, we will optimize the capture and removal of tar and light oils that are suspended within the coke oven gas. This in turn reduces the carbon content of the coke oven gas, making it a cleaner fuel when recycled in other plant combustion processes. Cleaner combustion will drive an annual reduction of approximately 21,000 tons of greenhouse gas emissions, amounting to a cumulative reduction of about 596,000 tons over the project's lifetime. Construction of the plant is underway and targeted for completion by 2022, resulting in an economic infusion of about $16.5 million into the regional economy. In 2019, Algoma Steel embarked on 3 greenhouse gas reduction projects: the rebuild of a blast furnace stove, the installation of a boiler preheater, and the modernization of the light tar and light oil plant. Combined, these projects represent a $47 million investment and are expected to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by approximately 79,000 tons annually, approximately 2% of our annual emissions. 2 of the projects are now complete, and the tar and light oil project is well underway. Further projects are being investigated as the company continues to seek further incremental greenhouse gas reductions. As a member of the Canadian Steel Producers Association, we aspire to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. It's an ambitious but important goal, one that requires the support of governments, research partners, customers, and our supply chain along the way. The tar and light oil projects bring us one step closer to that goal, and we could not have done it without the support of the Government of Canada. I want to thank MP Terry Sheehan and Minister Wilkinson for their leadership on this file and the government's continued advocacy for Canadian steel. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and I guess I will turn it over to Jennifer if there's any Q&A from the media.
Yeah, hi. So if you want to ask a question, you can use the raise hand feature, and I will click on it, and then you can unmute or mute yourselves. Also, the news release with some detailed information will be on its way to you momentarily. I don't see any questions at this time. Oh,
one came through the chat.
Just got one. Okay. Okay.
Says,
so Jairus.
You can do Elaine's first, and then I'll go second. I know she typed hers in, so let her go first.
Oh, okay. Hold on. For some reason.
I can see it. I'll read it. I'll be Elaine, and I'll read it to Mike. So on behalf of Elaine, Mike, can you explain how the improvements will be made?
To be very honest, Terry, Elaine, that's fairly technical. We certainly have the ability to explain that process, but I think I'm going to have to defer and take that question away with you, from you, and we can provide the details in terms of the actual process of the removal of the tar and the light oil from that gas flow stream.
Is there any way that you can just kind of keep, kind of just give us a simple explanation so that we can explain it to our readers? Technical.
You know what? I think we can respond very quickly with the actual technical process. Really, it's a gas stream. And let me paraphrase this as we'll call it a filtering mechanism. The actual technology, again, would be far more detailed, but it's to take from that gas stream tar and light oil and extract it so that the gas that continues on to our combustion processes does not contain those elements, and thereby it reduces the carbon footprint. So let's put it down to a filtering mechanism of a gas flow. How's that?
Okay, fair enough. And what else has to be done so that Algoma can continue to reduce its emissions? What other projects have you got on the back burner?
As I say, we've had 3 and invested 47 million. There are a number of things that we need to do, and it's a extremely long list of issues that would be required through the blast furnace coke ovens to invest in many of those issues and address improve the environment.
Do you ever think you'll meet the government's target? The zero.
It's aspirational. We certainly, as the chair of the CSPA, fully endorse that, and it is there. Having said that, it's aspirational in as much as the technology does not currently exist, and we will continue to work with academia and the government and vendors to, in fact, strive for that 2050 goal, a very ambitious goal and aspirational.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elaine. And Jairus, I will have you unmute yourself, and you should be able to go ahead.
Okay, this is for Mr. McQuaid. When Terry started off, he mentioned that this new upgrade will reduce 21,000 tons of green gas emission, which is equivalent of removing 180,000 cars from the road a year. Currently, how much tons are produced by Algoma Steel here in Sault Ste. Marie of green gas emission each year?
If we look at it, we have about, in my prepared remarks, we put 2% approximately at 80,000 tons. So order of magnitude is about 4 million tons a year.
And just on that too, Jairus, I just wanted to clarify that it's 21,000 tons a year. Over the lifetime of the project, 596,000 tons. So that's significant, and that equates to removing 182,000 cars off the road for a year. So it's a really big impact.
Sorry, what was that number again, Terry?
Sure, it's 21,000 per year,
yeah.
And over the lifetime of the project, it will be 596,000 tons, which would be the equivalent of removing 182,000 cars off the road for a year.
Oh, okay. So that's 596,000 tons over the lifetime of the project. And we still haven't got the full release yet, but what is the expected lifetime of this project?
I believe you said, Michael, you were finishing on track for what time?
Installing by 2022, and it's a 30-year runway.
30 year. Yeah.
Okay.
And just, sorry, just because I was
No
trying to write down a bunch of those numbers ahead of time, just as you were mentioning that, but what's the economic spin-off for creating this project here in the Soo as far as jobs that this will produce?
I haven't put it down to jobs, but it is about a $16.5 million infusion of spending in the region.
Okay, so and the rest obviously is going to be covered by Algoma Steel. So it's roughly 12 million of your own money is being spent on this project.
That is correct.
Okay. And just
Okay. The news release has gone out, Jairus, and if you don't have it, I can resend it to you shortly.
I just received it now, so I'm just
Okay.
looking to make there's nothing else in that I need to get a comment from. But if James has a question, I'll pass it to him, and I might come back.
Okay. Let's see. I don't see James. Okay. So if you have a question, James, I'm just asking you to unmute yourself.
I'm good, Jennifer. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. And I don't see any other questions for now.
Well, thank you very much, Jen, Mike, members of the media, Algoma Steel representatives, as well as Rory Ring. You know, when you think about the $16 million that's being invested in the community, and the spin-offs that happen for all the small and medium-sized enterprises in Sault Ste. Marie and area and such. So I think that's a good day. So thank you very much, Miigwech, merci beaucoup, and we will chat again soon. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Great news,
you.
gents. Great news.
Thanks.